Hey, friendo, Steve here, and welcome back to my Impact review. This one is for the episode that aired 11/16/2017. So, before I get to the actual review, I put out a poll last night on Twitter asking people who out there would prefer me to keep on doing these Impact reviews and who out there would prefer me to do Ring of Honor Weekly TV reviews. I can't do both. There just isn't enough time. Impact is, ever since last week when they moved the venue, there's not a lot of people there. It's just kind of sad. A lot of the storylines just don't make sense. The stuff they do doesn't make sense. And it's so obviously like a stitched together show. Which prior to Bound for Glory, I was actually kind of digging because they were using, with much excitement, footage from a bunch of different places, a bunch of different matches. You get AAA, The Crash, Border City Wrestling, which I think is Scott D'Amore's organization, and a couple others. And it was fun. But the entire thing just seems kind of stitched together. And so I'm always trying to, Larson always, gives me crap for tinkering too much with the channel, with the programming, this, that, the other. I try to make stuff better. So I'll accept that I do tinker with stuff, just to tinker with stuff sometimes. And that's what he's referring to when he gives me crap. But, I'm always trying to make things better. I'm always trying to make things more efficient. And I'm always trying to give you guys a better experience here on the channel. And overwhelmingly, the poll came in favor for me doing Ring of Honor weekly reviews. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm kind of sick right now, but I put on Impact last night. And it was just, I was like, man, I was literally counting the people in attendance. Like when the camera, like on the hard cam, you can see each individual person and where like their bleachers sort of stop at the top and then where they begin. And then I was like, 1, 2, 3, 8. So there's 64 people in this section, 64 there, 64 there. That's, I was doing math. Because it looks like there's maybe 200 people in the entire venue. And all their camera angles are down low. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's a bummer. It's all just a bummer. And I don't know, I was reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer was talking crap about Impact, basically. And he said something along the lines of, it'll take 20 years of them not doing screwball finishes like the kinds we saw at Bound for Glory, for fans to start accepting that Impact's not going to start giving you screwball finishes. They have a history of just having a lot of interference, run-ins, not clean finishes. And it's not, I think, that I don't enjoy. I'll put it this way. I kind of started watching Impact from the beginning because I'm like, okay, well, I've always heard it's a train wreck. Let me take a look at the train wreck. And there's totally stuff to enjoy. Moose, I absolutely is my favorite. EC3 is great. But even he, like on this episode, I just get this vibe from him that he knows that his contract is coming to an end like in the spring sometime. And he's going to be bolting for, it wouldn't surprise me if he went to NXT or WWE. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't want him. I think that he left on good terms. So I just got to thinking, I'm like, you know what? I could be, with these 2 hours that I'm spending watching this, I could be doing something else. I could be doing something for my own channel. I could be doing something else for the Steven Larson channel, trying to make that better, which I'm always trying to do. I could be reviewing Ring of Honor Weekly TV. And give that a fair shake and see how I would, feel about that programming. I think people understand at this point. I think people understand at this point what my point of view on Impact is. I've sat through their biggest pay-per-view. I did a review on that. I've sat through a couple months of TV programming. it's just, it's a bummer. And I don't want to sit around for its like final days because, man, it seems like it's grim. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's, what is anybody getting out of it? What am I getting out of it? What are you guys getting out of it? I know there's some out there, and honestly, I hate starting something and then quitting because I know that there are those of you out there who don't make the time to watch it, and so they watch this because I only do like about 20 minutes, and so it's a good recap. You want to stay up on it, that's fine, or if you want to get, my read on things, I totally get that. I don't want to take that away from you, but I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if my days reviewing Impact, and here, full transparency also, and this is completely part of the equation because it has to be, business-wise, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the word impact, the actual word impact in the titles or on the fact that I have it on the thumb. Every single episode of this show gets demonetized by YouTube. And honestly, that doesn't, if it was vital programming, it wouldn't bug me because I know that it makes the channel better. I know it brings people in to look at the other stuff on the programming. I just don't know that it's vital programming. I don't know that anybody's coming in for the Impact reviews and saying, oh, what else do these guys have? I don't know that's the case. But every single episode, it'd be one thing if we got the normal amount of money commensurate with the number of views we get on these Impact reviews as on everything else we do on the channel. I'd be fine with that. But every single time YouTube demonetizes it, and it takes like 48 hours, which is literally the only period when anybody's watching these things, because after 48 hours, it gets like no more views. It gets to like 6,000, 7,000, maybe 10,000, and then it falls off a cliff. And so during that entire time, it takes forever for YouTube to review it, and then eventually it gets monetized. But there's no other views to bring in that, to take advantage of the monetization. So there's a business reason not to do it also. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I might still do it for a couple weeks. A lot of it kind of depends. Like on Fridays, I just sort of sit back. I'm like, well, I'll edit some stuff, get the Sunday show up. I'll put on Impact. I'll, take notes and review it. And it's not a lot of time. But then when it comes to, well, I've got this extra time. Why don't I just watch Ring of Honor? Why don't I just watch something else? Why don't I watch Lucha Underground instead and catch up on that and do like a review series on that? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. A lot of people seem to want the Ring of Honor weekly recaps as opposed to the Impact Wrestling recaps, but Impact is fascinating to me. They've got some characters that I really like, and I know Ring of Honor has a lot of people that I really like, but I usually see those people in New Japan because we review that stuff. Anyways, yeah, we kicked off with a 6-man tag match. I even have to look up really quick who won this match because I was like, man, I feel like it's just the same 6 people in the X division, and it kind of feels like the same. And I love Trevor Lee. I just like put him in a story or something, do something with him. I don't know, man. Anyways, kicked off with an X division match. With Desmond Xavier. Let's see here. Where's my... here we go. Ishimori, Trevor Lee, Caleb Conley were on one team. It was a tag match versus Desmond Xavier, Garza Jr., and Sanjay Dutt. Desmond Xavier ended up getting a spinning corkscrew splash from the top rope onto Caleb Conley for the win. So that's good. Let's see, what other notes do I have here? It was just obvious at that point. There's not a lot of people there. And it's just a bummer. Like, I don't think you can do anything. If you're Anthem and you bought this Impact Wrestling thing, what can you do? Like, what can you possibly do with a brand that is so poisonous in the minds of wrestling fans? And there's so many other options out there. What can you really do with it? Especially because a lot of these big contracts, like James Storm, is going to be leaving. His contract's coming up. He's making between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, and Impact can't afford that anymore. So I've read. Next up, we got an OVE video package. This is one of the few bright spots in Impact. It's OVE, Sami Callihan doing all the talking. Kind of reminded me of one of those old Shield videos when they'd sort of do a selfie-style video. Basically, they were just saying, that they're here and they don't care what anybody says. It had like a heelish vibe, which I don't think is the right way to go with them. Falaba versus EC3 for the Grand Championship. This was kind of felt like kind of a comedy match. EC3 was kind of dancing around Falaba a little bit, making fun of him a little bit, sort of clowning with the crowd, but doing it in his heel way. Again, this match kind of, I look at this and I'm like, oh, he's just, EC3 is just sort of having fun now. He's not really, I think he understands that this is his last little run. And so the last couple months, he just seems to be having checked out fun. I'll put it that way. Anyways, Falaba actually won the first round. This is the Grand Championship, so they got all those weird rules, and it goes 3 rounds. EC3 got the better of him in round 2, and then EC3 at the very end with like 20 seconds left got the pin on Falaba in round 3, but he had his feet up on the ropes. Ref didn't see. EC3 goes over. Protecting Falaba, I guess, because they want to do that. Next up, we had OVE versus LAX. This is a really fun match. This is actually a really, really good match. This match went probably like 20 minutes. And it just kind of illustrates, like, man, they do have good matches. They have some good matches. But nobody's seeing it. Nobody's watching them. It's like if it was just loaded front to end with great matches, would that be enough? Would anybody care? I don't know. Let's see here. LAX went over. They got the win. After OVE tried to do their finish where one dude puts the other guy on his shoulders, then the third guy puts the opponent on his shoulders, and they drop a cutter. The LAX was able to get out of that and then executed their finish for the win. So LAX went over. Dan Lambert from American Top Team came out and cut a promo. It was brutal, man. He was like, man, you guys have really fallen off coming out here to Ottawa. This place is empty. He was talking crap. Like, he was legit talking crap. He was like, this place is empty. Look what we've done. This is our doing. This is what happens when you mess with America Top Team. And he said, I had my lawyer at my expense. Dan Lambert's really good. He's really good. He said, I had my lawyer at my expense draft a release for Lashley. You promised it. So get out here and, make good on your promise. American Top Team came out and attacked Moose came down, was about to attack Dan Lambert. American Top Team came out, attacked Moose. James Storm came out for the assist. Ran off American Top Team, but not before, I forget his name. His last name is Hartnett. I forgot. John Hartnett. I forget his name. He's the little guy. He's like one of the coaches at American Top Team. I found this out. He's my favorite because like he really seemed to be into it. He like sort of slapped James Storm or started poking at him saying, don't you talk to Dan Lambert that way. And James Storm just destroyed that beer bottle over his head. It was really funny. And then James Storm gave a very impassioned promo basically saying, I've been here from the beginning. I mean, it was totally a setup for a career match. I read that he's going to have a career match. I won't get any more spoilers than that. But, I mean, this promo basically spelled out that he's going to be leaving, but that it's a very emotional thing for him because he's been there for so long. So, yeah, it was a really, really good promo. It talked about his time in TNA, how he helped build the place. It must be just a bummer. It must be a bummer to, like, I don't know, be the last people on a sinking ship and to be one of the people who were there when the ship wasn't sinking, when it was a thing that people cared about. They keep on showing these like shots of, TNA back in its heyday to promote their streaming service. And the people were hot. It was kind of a cool place maybe to be. It's just, man, a lot of bad decisions. To illustrate that even before, this wasn't a nice metaphor here. KM was backstage after this, or after that. KM was desperately he was begging American Top Team to let him go with them. And I'm like, yeah, because Impact doesn't use you. Like, I don't know. Wrestler's going to be leaving. Is that really what you want? I know it's storyline, and he's like supposed to be a bad guy or whatever. Anyways, Lashley said, if you really want to come with us, prove it and beat up Moose or something. So maybe that'll happen next week. Eli Drake had a promo where he talked about Petey Williams. I like his promos. I don't know what he'd bring to the table if he left and went to NXT. I like Eli Drake. Just not sure he has anything extra special that would be like, oh, this guy, you know. It's a good promo, though. Gail Kim was backstage. She was set to come out and make her big announcement. Allie was out back there, too. Said, I'd love to be out there while you make this announcement. That sounds awkward. Gail Kim said, yeah, sure. Gail Kim, they ran a really fantastic video package celebrating Gail Kim's career because we all knew it was going to happen. She's going to vacate her title. It was really good. It makes me wonder if they were going to go ahead with the Hall of Fame thing and then just didn't because I don't know why they would have ditched the Hall of Fame thing. They could have just put Gail Kim in there. I don't know. Anyways, it was a really fantastic package showing off her highlights from her career. She comes out, says, this is very emotional for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm vacating my title. I'm walking away. Allie is in the ring awkwardly, gives her a hug. And that was it. Gail Kim is gone. Next up, Joe Park, a.k.a. Abyss, but as Joe Park, is backstage, sits down at a table where everybody plus Grado is. Well, a lot of people in Grado is. Everybody gets up except for Grado, and Joe Park is like, what did I do? Anyways, he tells Grado, look, I can admit now to myself that I am Abyss, and I did some terrible things. To make it up, here's your visa. I'm thinking to myself, wait, you went through that hardcore match? You won, and now you're just giving him the visa, which was the stipulation for the hardcore match in the first place at Bound for Glory. Anyways, Grado takes it, and then immediately a Royal Canadian Mountie comes up to Grado and says, this visa doesn't apply to Canada. You're out of here. They drag Grado away. I'm assuming that's the last we're going to see of him for a while, maybe. I hope not. I actually like Grado. If Grado stays, I stay. How about that? Anyways, after that, Jimmy Jacobs sits down. Apparently he's producing backstage and writing backstage for Impact now. But he also came down to the announce table to call the main event, along with Josh Matthews. It was Petey Williams, the Canadian Destroyer, versus Eli Drake. This is a good match. They went 20 minutes. They booked Eli Drake relatively strong. They kept on making a point of saying at the beginning of the match, nobody's ever kicked out of a Petey Williams Canadian Destroyer in Impact. Which evidently was true. So you knew it was going to happen. Eli Drake was going to kick out of a Canadian Destroyer from Petey Williams. And that happened. And it was cool. The crowd, the people that were there anyway, kind of gasped at that one. Excuse me. And then he goes for it again after a couple more moves, another finishing sequence. He goes for it again, but Eli Drake seamlessly transitions it into a gravy train, gets the win, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was a fun match. It was a decent match. It was good. I don't know what they're missing, man. I don't know. I look like a wreck right now. I don't feel that bad. My sinuses are just clogged up. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like this stuff, let me know. If you'd rather have me do, I'm not going to do both, but if you'd rather have me do Ring of Honor weekly reviews, maybe I'll do that instead. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.